Global Outlook is sponsored by Maury's monthly newsletter, Global Outlook. President Obama is choosing Saudi Arabia over 9/11 victims' families, as he says he's going to veto the ability to sue terrorist states. This is one where I think the House of Representatives and even the Senate, and I think there's going to be a lot of Democrats that are going to jump on board with this, he may get overridden by this veto. This is a pretty sticky bill that's come up, the 9/11 Terrorist Families Act.
Yes, but it was talked about for a long time. It was proven when the Saudis picked up the bin Laden family, which was staying at the Four Seasons Hotel in Washington the night before this dastardly event happened. They sent a major plane to Andrews Air Force Base to pick up all the people that were staying at that hotel.
And if I recall, that's when we had the airspace was that the night before, or was 9/11, or was that the day after?
No, it was the next day.
And you had no airplanes at all in the skies except for a very few.
Well,
and that was one of them.
That's exactly right. It was right in the middle of the night. It wasn't Andrews Air Force Base. It was a military base.
So what would that do to the Obama legacy if he is going to be on the side of Saudi Arabia against the 9/11 victims' families, and then Congress has to come in and actually override the veto?
I don't think it'll do anything. He's been getting away with his executive orders almost every day. It means nothing to him. I don't think his legacy. I used to think that most presidents like to use a second term, especially the last month of the second term, in order to create a positive legacy. I don't think it makes any difference to him whatsoever.
If the ability to sue terrorist states over these kinds of acts, will that change anything, do you think? Will it stop countries like Iran from funding Hezbollah and Hamas and doing these terrorist acts?
No. You see, the thing is, Saudi Arabia is totally dependent on our helping defend them against the Iranians, okay? So it doesn't make any difference. The Saudis right now, what is happening in the Middle East, based on my connections, nobody looks to the United States anymore. They go more toward Putin and Russia to get help, not to the United States. So anything, and the Saudis, even, do you know that the Saudis have become very friendly with the Israelis? I know that from firsthand experience.
It's probably the same mentality that the Israelis have, survival.
When the Israelis are getting very close to Russia. And the Egyptians, Sisi and Bibi Netanyahu, the head of Israel, talk every night now. So yes, they're all going for survival because they no longer can depend on the United States of America.
And as we see oil start to make a little bit of a rebound here, really that gives more power to Iran, Saudi Arabia, and Russia, does it not?
Well, let's put it this way. As we speak, there is a big meeting coming up on September 26th. It's not only the first night of the debates, but it's also the time when Russia, Saudi Arabia, Russia, Saudi Arabia, and even Iran are supposed to meet to try to fix the markets because it's not moving up fast enough to allow these companies to make money anymore.
I just saw John Hofmeister, who you're familiar with.
Oh, very much so.
Know him. He said he's standing by his prediction that oil will be at $60 a barrel by the end of the year. We're running out of time. Do you see it being at 60? That's an awful big jump. It's a 30,
well, originally Hofmeister said 80. Then he's gone. I think 60 is a possibility. If they really mean what they say about getting together, they will get together. If they stick together and say, okay, we're cutting back production, yeah, they can get to 60 because they think that anything over 60 will allow the United States to go back to more production of hydraulic fracturing. You see, that's why that 60 is so important. No, I don't think it'll go higher than 60.
So they get to the point where they want to have increased price for their oil, but they don't want to increase it to the point where it makes it profitable for America to get back on its fracking routes.
You're absolutely correct. That's right, because none of them have any control over America. They can work among themselves. Even Russia, which is not a member of OPEC, will now work with the Iranians and the Saudis. But the point is, they know darn well even if they could get America into these discussions, they wouldn't trust them.